everybody, welcome back to the WCS Season 1 Finals. Looks like our crowd here is starting to grow. Nerds are waking up and coming down to the studio. If you're in Korea, you can come down to the studio. We're actually pumping in English everywhere. I'm actually up at the front stage right in front of the screen. Should I duck when the game's on? Can you guys see it over my head? No problem? Okay, good to know, because that would really suck having to duck. So, we're in the final match of Group A. Stefano is out. He's out of the whole tournament. For anyone that predicted him to do well, you were wrong. He's out. He's gone. Last place tie. We are going to have Alive against TLO coming up next. And the winner of that goes up with Sulky, and the loser of that goes out with Stefano. So, very big match. Now, Alive, if he studied very heavily for this group, then there's plenty of TLO ZVTs that you can find. But as of right today, Alive has had to play two best of threes, which turned out to be only 4 games, but that's all games that TLO got to watch, like sit there and literally watch and study and be like, okay, this is what he's doing, this is how he's playing, and that can make a big difference. And I feel like just after those 4 games alone, discounting everything else that Alive has done in WCS, I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on what he's doing and what his range is that he's feeling comfortable with here today. So I think TLO definitely can as well, which is going to help him out immensely. As far as TLO's ZVT, it's kind of all over the place. We've seen a lot of standard play and a lot of cheesy play from him. So maybe a little bit harder to prepare for here for Alive. Now the first map is going to be Neoplanet S. And, well, we'll see how this goes. The game has loaded. We'll jump into there in just a second. Alive versus TLO. Should be a pretty epic match. Right, up here in the top right, our Korean Terran, he is...
EG Alive Raid Call from America.
Qualified from America, of course. He is a Korean. And then in the bottom left, our German Zerg, he is...
Liquid TLO from Europe.
And of course, in pretty spectacular fashion, he got 5th place in Europe, taking out some amazing players on the way. TLO really been improving a lot lately. It'd be great to see him make it through the group, because if TLO goes out, there's only one foreigner left. Of course, Damaga, who'll be playing in the afternoon groups. So we'll see if he can get out as well. All right, so Neoplanet S, we just saw that Alive obviously plays very well on this map. He opened with Reaper there. Here, what is he going to open with? Right now, it's starting to look like it could be a Command Center first. He's waiting quite a while. Yeah, looks like it should be a Command Center first coming down. Now, Command Center first, it's something that can be punished sometimes. It matters which type it is. Like, for instance, let's say he goes Command Center first, and then like a Rax, and then another Command Center, and goes double eBay, something crazy like that, and Baneling All-Ins and whatnot can work. But I don't expect TLO to be doing anything quite like that. It looks, though, like he is going to go hatch pool. No drones after that hatch. So he's aware that Alive has done some 2 Raxes, and he doesn't want to get caught with his pants down, basically. So everything looking pretty normal. Pretty solid here from both players. Nothing crazy should be happening in the next few minutes. So I do want to mention to everyone they can go ahead and check out. We do have 2 streams here at GSL. Wolf and Calder are on the other one right now, and then we're going to switch after this. So feel free to check them out. They're casting some really great games up there right now, no doubt. It's always fun to have a couple streams open. So we do have the gas coming up here from Alive. No big surprise there. Probably be going right into a factory as soon as possible after a few Marines. From TLO, no gas yet. We'll have to see what he actually wants to do. That's what I'm more interested in, right? I've seen a lot of Alive TVZs today. I have a pretty good idea of the range of play he's going to show us in this match. But what is TLO going to do? Is he going to do some sort of crazy all-in like we saw against Lucifron? Are we going to see, maybe a more standard play? Is he going to try a macro-type game? I don't know right now what he has specifically planned for a live. And of course, you know, this map kind of interesting with 2 paths around. You definitely want your creeps spreading in both directions. Very, very important to get that done. And in fact, TLO known very well for his creep spreading efficacy, I guess. You know, he's one of the only players that brings out a drone oftentimes with a couple queens, makes a hatchery, and then cancels somewhere. And when you do that, you get a little bit of creep, and then he lays some creep tumors, so he can start his creep much further out than most people. So this right here is a great snipe. That is a wonderful catch for Alive. If you can kill an early Overlord for Zerg, it messes up their whole build order. Look, right now, he's in red supply, 35-28, so he's missing some drones or lings, whatever it was that you wanted to make at the time. And he has to make another Overlord, and that uses another larva. So that was really well done. Not just that, too. That's an Overlord that he later could use for scouting. So that is pretty painful, especially now, because we see that we're actually going to see Hellbat drops coming out of Alive, and that's something that you have to scout. That is not something that you can take lightly, just have it fly in your base, be like, oh, okay, I'll deal with that now. No, you have to be ready. So that Overlord catch definitely can alter the course of this game. And I'm just going to go ahead and check exactly. Yeah, he hasn't actually seen gas counts at all, and that's one of the easiest ways to tell if a Hellbat drop is coming, rather. So I am a little bit nervous for TLO right now. And it's basically all stemmed off of that Overlord catch. But we'll see if the other Overlord can get in there and see what's going on. Or maybe he can just sniff it out. Sometimes, you know, your star sense, just the fact that you played so many StarCraft games, you pick up on some little tiny thing that I can't even really explain. And you suddenly know in your head that they're actually going for the Hellbat drop. Well, there are 4 Hellions out. So one way that it could happen is, let's say that he sees 4 and he's expecting 6. 4 isn't as popular anymore. Normally you do get 6 Hellions nowadays with this, so that is something that he may be able to see and think, oh, there's no more? What are you doing behind this? Well, so far the creep spread is looking really nice from TLO. His third base still morphing up. He is getting a Baneling nest. He is getting upgrades for those Banelings as well. But we don't really see anything to deal with the Hellbat drops. One thing that's really scaring me for TLO is there's no creep in between the main and natural. So moving queens in between those 2 locations is going to be too slow. And especially on this map where the 3 bases are in such different locations. Okay, the Zerglings saw those 2 medevacs. That is a huge moment. And immediately Spore Crawler's going down. That is exactly what he needs to do. Spore Crawlers do very well against this. That's your first line of defense. Some Spines could be nice as well. He's even making a 6th Queen. He is going to have to be so careful dealing with this. And immediately, oh god, the drop comes down. The Zergling's going to surround. He's trying to save his drones, but the drones are taking a lot of damage right now. And it looks like he'll get the medevac. So very well done. And in fact, all these queens back here, he's doing a very good job. He needs to keep his drones out of range, though. And it looks like TLO has dealt with this very well. Very well indeed. Only 5 drones killed there. Yeah, he killed some Zerglings, but that's about as good as you can really ask for. He got the medevacs. He got the Hellbats. I mean, this is well done by TLO. Very well done. He's really on top of things right now. Now these Hellions, this is a good move because he knew where the queens were, and without queens there, all TLO can do is split his drones and wait for something else to get over. And this is kind of a cool, cute move by Alive at the same time. How he's just kind of sending the Hellbats around the map because he knows he's not fighting against roaches, so he can actually just attack move. Like, you can surround Hellbats with lings if you want to kill them, but they're going to be cost efficient no matter what. So he's just kind of being aggressive with that, continuing his Hellbat production, but because he continues to make Hellbats non-stop, he has no Widow Mines, no Siege Tanks, no other factory units. If TLO were to go for some sort of timing attack against this, with a lot of Banelings in it, it's going to be kind of hard for Alive to hold it as efficiently as you would normally see a Terran hold it at this point, because normally at this point you do have some Widow Mine production. But he is only focusing on these Hellbats. So he may be deciding that he wants to hit a timing push with Hellbats. And when Hellbats are in there, you have to watch out for mass speed banes. Like, that's probably the best way to deal with it. But overall, against Zerglings, they do outstandingly well. So these Hellbats are starting to get a bit more efficient. You know, TLO's first line of defense was fantastic, but at this point, having lost 25 drones, it's getting pretty rough. But here is this Baneling push that I was talking about a little bit before. Thing is, look at this. Very smart move. Bring out these Hellbats. He wants to hit these Banelings. Nice move right there. And just pushing them back is kind of a little victory in and of itself. But trading Hellbats for Banelings isn't that bad either. I mean, the factory build time of the Hellions, you don't really want to trade them for Banes, but it's okay here. Now, the creep spread of TLO is looking really nice. His drone count right now is a bit below the SCVs, so that's a bit rough. And Alive's trying to secure that third. The third base, whether or not it gets secured, is going to be extremely important for the rest of this game. Just like the other ones we've seen from Alive. Another low drop, and ouch. He killed a decent amount of drones once again. You know, the thing is, people have to remember, Hellbats seem like they cost more because only 2 fit in a medevac, but they do only cost 100 minerals apiece. So they are not really the most expensive unit. Okay, so I feel like TLO, once he gets this Baneling speed, needs to get in there and mess with his opponent, which it's kind of sad because that's going to finish way before the +2/+2, but hold on, we actually have a nice surround going down. Of course, the Hellbats being pretty effective here. Now, can his Banelings actually get some damage on? Look at this defense. I really like how Baneling-centric it is. It's really kind of cool. You don't see this that often, in this style at least. Now, the Banelings, can they get the SCVs? And not being quite as efficient as TLO is looking for. But he got a little bit, at least. Now, what does TLO do from here? Because Alive is pulling ahead. You know, this is basically what we were seeing with Alive against Stefano, where 3 base versus 3 base, and Alive continues to put on some pressure. Now, TLO's trying to put on some counter pressure, but he has no 4th morphing at all. So that's going to make this harder and harder and harder. But you know what? If TLO holds on a little bit longer, he is going to have a little window where he has 2/2 in Baneling speed against someone that is lower on Widow Mines than would normally be. And he's only going to be 1/1, so he's going to be up a couple upgrades as well. So there's still a chance here for TLO to win. But when these 2/2 upgrades finish, or if we see a battle before that, like a big battle, and TLO doesn't really crush, then he's completely dead. This is like literally his last chance is coming up. And it would be pretty fantastic if he could pull it off, because as we see supply-wise, definitely going pretty big in Alive's favor right now. You know, Alive continues to drop, doesn't even care about the Spore. TLO having to go all the way home. That's fine though, because here we go, another 20 Lings is popping out, that 2/2 is about to finish. I feel like right now TLO has to do something. He has no more time to waste. Alive's Widow Mine count is getting higher and higher. He's at 9 now. And this is going to be the window where he has superior upgrades. 2/2 against 1/1, and it's only for a little bit longer. He's got... Well, I don't have the pop-up thing, so I can't tell the exact time, but he's got just a little bit longer going on with this upgrade advantage. So here we go, he's rolling in, forcing that lift off. He does have that speed for Banelings. All right, uses the Banelings to finish that off, and he's noticed his Zerglings and Banelings are doing very well right now, but oh, a nice Widow Mine hit does go off, and TLO is just about out of gas, figuratively and literally. So now he's being counter-dropped, he's making more Lings, but he's got very few Banes, very few Lings. His economy is garbage next to Alive's economy. You do not want 3 base versus 3 base this long. It's okay for a little bit, but TLO has basically nothing left. It's the 2/2 upgrades are about to finish for Alive as well, just to, you know, make it even more in his favor. TLO at this point, I hereby decree TLO is dead. He is not going to be able to pull this one off. He has nothing left going on for him. And the amount of units that Alive has that's rallying out here is going to be completely insurmountable. He'd have to Alive would have to stop microing altogether, and he would still have to get perfect baneling hits. So, TLO, it looks like his last-ditch plan here is exactly what the one that I called the last-ditch plan was, which is just a Ling baneling attack. We'll see how well this works out for him. Thing is, Alive is only committing with little chunks of his army, which, yeah, you know, you can get in here and maybe kill it, but the Widow Mines are going to be pretty effective against that, as we've seen the first one at least. And then, even if you kill that army, there's another army waiting for you. So Alive isn't committing everything at once at any point here, which is making it a bit harder. That was a good mine hit for TLO. And it looks like this is just about the last attack. TLO actually getting through this set of army, but that's it. GG. And that last attack didn't really have any chance. It was really the moment when he had 2-2 against 1-1 and his baneling speed had just finished. That was his only moment in that game to really come back after the game was as it was, with the Hellbat Chops doing that amount of damage, with Alive actually killing 20+ drones and getting that third base secured. Because once that third base was secured and he had killed drones and TLO wasn't even morphing a fourth, I think TLO realized, he's like, well, I'm going to have one little window here where I can pick up a win. Unfortunately, it did not work out, and Alive looking pretty strong. You know, it's really interesting to see the difference in skill level between some of these players, because Alive and TLO are fantastic players, no doubt about it. The pro gamers deserve to be here, but you look at them compared to, for instance, GSL champion Sulky. Sulky made Alive look bad, and Alive right now is truly, he is outplaying the foreign pro gamers so far. Stefano 2-0ing him. Definitely did outplay him in that series. And here against TLO now, it's, you know, that game, it did come down to Hellbats killing a lot of drones, so I don't want to completely say outplaying, but definitely it was a somewhat one-sided game after you get those drone kills. So, our next map going to be Belshir Vestige. And, you know, TLO actually does like this map in ZBT. I'm not exactly sure why, but I was talking to him the other day about how I feel like this is such a nice map for Terran vs. Zerg as you expand towards each other, kind of as the game goes on. After the third base, you're going towards each other, and that's something Zerg doesn't want. The further away Zerg can expand, the better they feel. It's because then it becomes really hard to actually hold that fourth, which is something that we've been seeing from Alive in those last games anyways. So I wonder what TLO's plan will actually end up being here. And you can see he's a bit upset about that game. You know, the Hellbats got a bit more kills than they really should have, especially after you crushed that first drop so heavily. And it looks like we have just a little technical difficulty in the booth, so we're going to do that thing where I sit on camera and try to burn time. All by myself. It's pretty fun. Hope you guys are enjoying WCS season finals. This is the first season of this year, of course. We have 3 different seasons. This seasonal finals being held in Korea, and then the other 2 are going to be Europe and America, so those should be quite fantastic as well. Of course, we do have WCS Season 2 starting up in Korea and America and Europe very soon. I don't know the exact dates. You can check that out. There's a new site up for it, which I don't know the exact address to either. Make sure you check out Caldor and Wolf's stream. They're streaming right now the other set. And here we go. It looks like everything has been fixed. And we're going into Belshir Vestige. Alive going up against TLO. Let's see, does TLO have what it takes to come back here?